How disruptive was sort of the pass rush today for most of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we knew coming into the game they had a really good front four. I think that's really the strong point of their defense, and they don't really blitz too much because they rely on those guys to get pressure. And obviously, they play well today. I think on offense, I think we just need to do a better job. Try to avoid as many of those sacks as possible, but, some of them were still on me. Just, get the ball a little quicker, help the O-line out. That way they can't tee off.
You guys had another slow start offensively today. What can you guys sort of try to do to get going early on?
It's kind of been a theme all year. I feel like we either start really fast or we start really slow. There's kind of been no in between for us. I think the biggest thing is just executing. You look across the span of those first few drives. It wasn't anything crazy that happened. It's just one play here, one play there. We didn't execute, and some penalties, and it's the small things that I think are holding us back early on.
On these safeties, where did you kind of see that broke down from your perspective, especially as an offensive?
Yeah, so I looked right. They kind of played like a too-high defense, and was going to come back left to my check down. Kind of felt the pressure inside there, and kind of when I turned around, turned right into it. And I need to do a better job of, in that situation, just taking the sack, and obviously not ideal. But 2nd and 15 is obviously a lot better than giving up 2 points. So that was tough. That's on me. Like, at the end of the day, guys are going to get beat. The other team's going to make some good plays, but it's my responsibility to make sure, a bad play doesn't result in them getting any points.
Did you think, Kyle, that play should have been called dead earlier at all, or did that feel?
I'm not going to say anything about the refs. In my mind, he kind of had me wrapped up, and but at the end of the day, like, regardless of if they've blown it dead or not, like, I just have to hold on to the ball. I'm not going to point the finger at anybody else other than myself.
I think on that play, I think you had Spoon one-on-one with him.
Mm-hmm.
He was one-on-one a lot, sort of, with your tackles.
Yeah.
Is that something, like, can you control and provide help on your own, or how does that work?
Yeah, you can to a certain extent. Obviously last week we played a really good edge rusher, a kid from Virginia Tech, and I felt like we did a good job, just handling him up front. And obviously you want to, try to slide protection to him and, chip him as much as you can. But at the same time, I felt like last week they showed that they can handle that. And, the kid 6, he made some good plays today, 100%. But, I think looking back on it with a few of those protections, maybe, if it was, a one-on-one, maybe slide protection to him so that way we can get, a double team, just stuff like that. But, I guess hindsight is always 20/20.
WAR than that.
Kyle, obviously, we talked about some of the pressure that Boston College applied today. At one point you had a 60, 50-yard run that unfortunately got called back. But how do you feel personally throughout the course of your second season as a starting quarterback in college? You have adjusted to, being able to hang in there under pressure.
Yeah, I think it's a very fine line. And, a lot of it, I think, just has to do with the feel of playing quarterback, and you're making split-second decisions, keeping your eyes down the field, but still trying to feel the rush. And you have a guy that's going to come open in a second, but are you going to hold on to the ball and possibly take a hit or take a sack, or you're going to get out of there and try to extend the play. It's a lot of like split-second decisions, but I talked about in the beginning of the year, like the biggest thing that I wanted to improve on from last year's tape to this year was just extending those off-schedule plays, and when it's there. Being able to be, a good runner with the ball. And, I feel like I did a pretty good job of that tonight, but obviously not well enough.
And last question to Justin.
Yeah, what did you see that worked so well going to a wrong day today?
Yeah, I think that you watch the tape from the season. I think when teams kind of have to pick and choose what they want to do with him, because obviously he's kind of a hybrid receiver, tight end. And, you know, they left him in, you know, some one-on-one coverages, and then others, you know, he did a really good job of, you know, reading the zone and getting open. And I feel like we also put him in chances to win. That's the biggest thing. I mean, he had 12 targets, and anytime you can get that amount of balls thrown his way, good things are going to happen.
Did you guys do anything like schematically different to sort of create those one-on-ones?
Not necessarily. I mean, on the touchdown, we lined him out wide on receiver, at receiver, and they put a corner on him. So I mean, it's kind of, you know, every week, you know, you don't know exactly how they're going to treat him, like a receiver or a tight end. But obviously, you know, he had a lot of success today.
Oh yeah, Marlon, on that fourth down and touchdown play, did you guys think that was going to be a run? What was going to go through you guys' mind?
4th and 1. I mean, you always think it's gonna be a run, but they slipped out. They schemed us up pretty good. We need to be prepared for that.
You just see from their rushing attack overall using different guys and using different.
Yeah, I mean, they came out doing something different. We should have been prepared a little bit better. Just with bigger O-linemen moving, they were doing really good moving on their feet, just getting around, a lot of pulling, a lot of gaps exchanging and things like that. We just need to be better prepared for that.
But when you say different, Marlo, do you mean different from what they did on film, or just something that you guys haven't seen a lot of this year?
Just also, I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, like I said, those guys were just those bigger old linemen. They were really good on their feet. They were being pretty athletic and getting around. We need to be prepared for that.
Marlon, there's been some injuries in the defensive line this year. Do you think having some of those starters, especially for you guys?
I mean, of course, you're always going to want your brothers out there. Some of the guys that went down, some of the guys we're going to have back later on, you're going to always want them back. But with the guys we got out there, I'm confident in them. I trust them 1,000%. But it's something that we had to fix today, and we're gonna learn on it.
Last two for Marlo, Will Chris with SWAR. Marlo, I know you haven't been part of it the whole season, but tackling has sort of been shaky all season. How do you guys fix that sort of at this point of the year, or is it sort of what it is at this point?
No, it's never what it is. It's just a will on it. We're gonna fix it.
How did when the backup quarterback went into the game, did that change, or how did it change the kind of the game plan, what they were running the rest of the way?
They did the same thing. They ran the ball. They ran behind their O-lineman. Ain't nothing changed.